All right, Joe, this is where the magic happens.
No magic.
The show. Welcome to Beacon of Speech. What is Beacon of Speech about? It's about selling freedom of speech to everyone. If I had a copy of the First Amendment, I would hold it up to the camera and shake it. Yeah, you can make the papers out. But we don't have a camera. I'm Fred Hunt. Across the table from me is the empty chair of Ted Coley. That's the first time that's ever happened. Across the other chair is Joe, the president of Beacon of Speech.
Hey, Fred, how's it going?
Hey, Joe. Free speech is under constant assault in America today. The problem is it's coming from two places that it's very hard to fight. From the left, PC madness. From the right, corporations, which we will get into very promptly. The concept that we're all in this together is lost in America. America is supposed to lead by example, not force its will on other countries. What are the limits to What are the limits to free speech? Pure evil. Evil is debatable. Pure evil is absolute. Vague Christian principles. Vegans not during the day. Blah 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 blah. Okay, we're done with that. We're putting away the outline, which we butchered today because Ted was not here as our counterweight. Hey, Joe, how you doing?
Okay.
The other Joe is here too. Do you want to say anything while Ted's on his way here?
No.
No, you have no input for us.
Sorry.
Fair enough.
My brain is a complete blank.
Your brain's a complete blank. I think my brain is a complete blank.
I've been trying to think all day, but nothing's happening.
So our first topic today, freedom of speech, it is under assault from corporations. Now, how is free speech under assault from corporations?
How?
Yesterday, I was listening to The Fan 92.3, and it's Ken Carmen and Kevin Kiley in the mornings. Do you like Kiley and Carmen in the morning?
Who's that? What happened to Boom?
They fired Booms.
Boom. Boom in the morning.
They fired Booms. Isn't that very sad?
Oh, that's horrible. But I always see him on Fox 8 or whatever it is.
Well, they need to... he's on Tailgate 19, but they got to fire him.
Yeah, he sucks on there, too.
So, yesterday, Kevin Kiley, he's the morning host for the local sports station, and he was reacting to a story. They made some woman a coach in the NFL. She was like a quality coach, right?
Yeah.
And Kevin Kiley came out and he said, I don't think it's a good idea for a woman to be a football coach. Football players are jerks. They don't listen to anybody, let alone... They don't listen to men who've never played the game, let alone a woman who has never played the game. Then he went on to say, in basketball, it's a little different because there's high-level women's basketball. Soccer's a little different because there's high-level women's soccer. But there is no high-level women's football.
What do you mean? Saying the laundry, whatever?
Well,
a football league? No, I'm joking.
He said the lingerie football league is not high-level football. But basically, he said his little spiel, and his whole take on you shouldn't hire a woman coach is you are setting her up to fail, right?
Yeah.
And now he had a very well-rounded rationale. His thought process, he wasn't out saying women shouldn't be hired anywhere, he wasn't saying any of that.
Yeah.
He was saying specifically in the world of the NFL that it probably wasn't a good idea to hire a woman coach because it's setting her up for failure.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, overnight, his story hit ESPN.
Let's see. Let's hear the apology.
Yeah, and then ESPN came and they put pressure on CBS Radio. CBS Radio had an emergency meeting last night to see what they were going to do with Kevin Kiley, right? So at 8 o'clock this morning, I turn it on, and Kevin Kiley is like, listen, apparently I didn't explain myself. And he goes, my bosses at CBS Radio would like me to clarify what point I was trying to make, right?
Yeah.
And he goes, I want to thank them for allowing me to have a voice. His exact quote, and I wrote it down while I was in the car. I'm doing 45 miles an hour, and I'm writing on the dashboard. Kevin Kiley said, I want to thank CBS Radio for allowing me to have a voice. Okay?
Yeah.
Now, why should he thank them for allowing him to have a voice? You
'Cause
hired him to be the commentator. If he thinks that nobody is going to listen to her because he's a woman, he's not saying women are evil. He's not saying women shouldn't have jobs. He was saying he didn't think anybody in the NFL locker room would respect a woman, so you're setting her up to fail.
Yeah.
So
But
here's
a lot of NFL players don't respect any coaches. So it doesn't matter if you have a coach in there, what kind of coach you have in there or not.
well, that's the whole thing. He said they barely respect coaches who do play football.
Yeah.
And so, but the underlying thing is that he was giving his opinion, and if you listen to it in context, he wasn't railing against women.
Yeah.
He wasn't saying women should be in the kitchen, joking around like you said, women should be in the kitchen.
They'd be in the kitchen cooking dinner.
Yeah, barefoot and pregnant.
Well, I don't know about the pregnant part.
Oh yeah, that's the sore subject with you.
Yeah.
So, so his company came down after he was done, said, we have to sort this out. We have to figure out what we're going to do with you. We have to, elaborate. You have to go on the air and say that this is specifically Kevin Kiley's opinion and not CBS Radio's. And it's a real cluster F.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And this is the world we live in, that corporations, you step out of line and they snap you back in place or you don't have a job in the morning.
Oh, yeah. Got to keep them advertisement, dollar bills coming in.
Well, that's the whole thing. Did they say this because it was, a crap storm? Or did they say this because some advertiser says if you don't fire Kevin Kiley, you're going to be out?
Because, who knows? A lot of people are like, well, we don't want to deal with you because you're one talk show guy feels this way.
Right. And a couple of years ago, Rush Limbaugh, he insulted a woman, and I honestly don't remember what the insult was.
Yeah, it was the WNBA, right? The lady in the WNBA.
Yeah, I don't remember what it was.
Or no, it was the college team.
The college student.
The nappy-headed... Did you say the nappy-headed house or whatever?
Oh, no, I think that wasn't Rush Limbaugh. That was Don Imus.
Yeah. Well, who cares? He got fired anyway.
Yeah, Don Imus. I don't even know if he's on or not. That guy sucked.
Yeah.
Okay? But with Rush Limbaugh, they said, well, we're not going to... You have a 5-year contract. We can't get rid of you, but we can hurt your pocketbook, and we can start boycott the advertisers.
Yeah.
And that's how they get to you, is through the advertisers. So... Granted, you can say what you want, but then at the end of the day, you're beholden to the advertisers, and it goes back to what can you say, what can't you say, what can you talk around, what do you have to infer. And so when I start every show, when we talk about how freedom of speech is under attack, you should be able to have a dialogue. Kevin Kiley should have been able to say, listen, I don't think NFL players will listen to a female coach. Maybe he could have said it different, or maybe he could have softened the blow. But the point is, he had a valid point to convey. And let's talk about this. Let's talk about this in the format or the forum of the talk show.
No, we can't do that nowadays because everyone's PC.
Yeah, everybody's PC. You can't do this. You can't do that. We're not going to go to whoever. We're not going to. If coach or advertiser, we're not going to drink.
God forbid somebody actually sits and they have a conversation. They
Right.
just all family. They're just already get defensive and try to attack you because you said so.
Right.
Instead of having a conversation with the person.
Yeah. And since I brought up Coke, at the end of the day, Coca-Cola is all about drinking sugary pop. Okay? The NFL is all about punching somebody in the head. If you don't want to go with a sport that punches somebody in the head, maybe you should not advertise there based on the violence, not based on whether they hire women coaches or not.
Yeah.
And when you get down to brass tacks, it's like you're stripping away, slowly stripping away. Now, I assume probably tomorrow they're going to suspend Kevin Kiley. He's probably going to get off the radio today. They're going to suspend him for 2 days.
Stupid.
Yeah, so they can turn around to their advertisers.
And they hired
and
him to be a talk show host, but then he has something to say, and well, you can't say that.
Right.
Well, then what can I say? Why don't you just write down what I can say then?
Right. You know what? I'm going to write that down. I'm glad that I brought it up because I told Ted that I've been doing a bad job with predictions. So my prediction, my prediction was made Kiley in trouble. And if you're across the United States, all different local hosts get in a certain amount of trouble. It moves the needle on the local talk shows.
Yeah.
Kiley in trouble. Prediction. I'm going to predict 2-day suspension with no pay. Now, to continue on that story, did you hear about Kevin Kiley?
No.
Yeah, okay. I heard about it a little bit last night because it was on Fox 8 News. It wasn't on 3, it wasn't on 5, it was only on Fox 8.
Yeah.
Well, why did Fox 8 run it?
Because they're probably their competitor.
Yeah, because Rizzo is Kiley's competitor. He runs against Rizzo, so they're doing bad PR against the Rizzo show.
Yeah.
But, 2 years ago, Rizzo was beating on his wife, allegedly.
Allegedly punched his wife.
And, yeah.
Or whatever.
Well, you could Google the, mugshots and stuff. But again, I think that, certain stations talked about it and certain other stations didn't talk about it because it's all about politics.
Yeah.
It's not about, whether it's right or wrong. It's about, again, moving the needle and talking about, your competitor.
Yeah.
Knocking them down to build yourself up. I put with pay. I put with 2 days suspension without pay. I made this prediction, 1/22/16 reveal date. I'm going to reveal that next week. So, prediction 1, will Kevin Kiley be suspended or fired? Do you want to make because you don't really care about Kevin Kiley. Do you want to make a prediction?
No, I didn't know who he was.
Yeah, you don't know. But you knew who Chuck Booms was, his partner. Yeah. You knew Kiley and Booms.
Yeah.
So, Booms sucks. I mean, I can't wait till that guy is on the unemployment line. Well, I shouldn't wish that on anybody.
Yeah.
He can go work in Salt Lake City.
Yeah, what's he still doing here?
I don't know.
Because he's not on the radio anymore, right?
He's not on the radio.
He does his
but maybe
Action 19 tailgate.
Well, that's the thing. Maybe he has a contract with, and he is a stand-up comedian. He does shows.
Does he really?
Yeah, I always joke because my father-in-law is not a fan, and I always joke, you should buy tickets and then go taunt him. He goes, why would I spend money on taunting the sucky comedian?
Yeah.
He goes, I would rather pay money to see a good comedian. Right?
Yeah.
So that's prediction number 1. So Ted will be happy that we're making predictions again. And where is Ted?
Why was he upset about us not doing...
Oh, I don't think he was upset. I think he was like, Fred, you got to get on the ball.
You got to start doing this again?
Yeah, why are you slacking? We're supposed to be doing Beacon of Speech.
Gotcha.
Yeah, and because I put in an application for a company to listen to our show. And they should
listen to
hire
our
us.
show. Listen to our show.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to listen. I think they're going to be like, yeah, these guys sound like freaks and weirdos.
Come on, we gotta be better than half the people out there,
Well, I don't even know if we're better than... I think half the people out there are basically like the guy on Rover. What they do is they take Howard Stern and then they take his old shows, listen to his old shows, and then take all his material.
Yeah.
Like... Rover did something this morning, and it was literally what was it? It was yesterday. He found a doctor who will do a boob job.
Oh, yeah.
He has the 4 girls. What girl has the worst story? And the worst story, and the first girl had cancer. The second girl was molested.
Yeah.
Which girl deserves boobs? And I'm like, that's
like every talk show does that.
Yeah, but I mean, Howard Stern literally did that exact.
Oh yeah, like 20 years ago.
Yeah, 20 years ago. I mean, literally, at least he could change it instead of top 4 girls who need boob jobs, like top 4 girls who need labia jobs. I don't know, or a makeover.
But somebody probably did that already too. So it's like everything's been done already. What are you gonna do?
Right, but you can steal stuff. Right?
Yeah.
And you can tweak it a little bit. I mean, there's a difference between tweaking it and, just copying it straight down.
We should just copy shows.
Oh, you know what? Maybe we should listen to good podcasts, and then I'll come in with their podcasts, and then I'll come out with their takes instead of having an outline and nothing else.
That sounds good.
We're going to make money. We can be the internet thieves. Everybody can hate us.
Yeah.
But we can count all our money.
Carlo Mancina of podcasts.
That's awesome. So, but anyhow, I got lost from my point. Ted is still working, but you have to go home. I have to go home. So we had to start the thing. Ted's going to jump in the middle as we're going, and then hopefully we can go from there.
Poor Ted.
But we can't start all the Eagles stuff because last week we were talking about David Bowie dying.
Yeah.
And you weren't here because you were sick.
Yeah.
This week, Glenn Frey died, so we're going to talk about Glenn Frey.
Who's Glenn Frey? Is that bad?
Yes, it is. He was basically the Eagles. You know the Eagles.
Yeah,
they sang
the
Hotel
Eagles.
California.
Yeah.
I
don't know any members, but I know who the Eagles
basically, they had 2 lead singers, Don Henley, Glenn Frey.
Yeah.
Right? And so one of Ted's favorite bands of all time
is the Eagles.
So
we're gonna take the Eagles poster. Huh?
Yeah, it's funny because we were talking about this at work. I am sitting under an Eagles poster. I can reach up and touch the Eagles poster because we're back in the rock and roll break room. We're not in the conference room. We're in the rock and roll break room with no rock and roll, no music, no nothing.
Yeah, but we got the albums though.
Yeah, we do have the albums.
You
and
can't listen to them, but you can look at them.
We talked about this 2 weeks ago because we got Beach Boys, Michael Mazur. I don't even know who that is. Cheap Trick. I know who that is. Who else is on the wall?
I don't know.
Chrissy Hine, Gary Newman, Tusk by Fleetwood Mac, Paul McCartney and Wings. Oh man, all these
Stones.
You know, what'd be really funny is
I seen a picture of that dude, the dude from the Rolling. What's his name? The lead singer.
Lead singer of Rolling Stones is Mick Jagger.
Yeah, I seen a picture of him not too long, like yesterday.
Yeah.
He was on the news for some reason. Dude, he is old, man.
Well, yeah, he is old.
Holy shit, looked like a skeleton. Looked like he was gonna drop dead there.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. I was reading an article last night about ABBA.
Yeah.
Because one of the people in ABBA, they were promoting their restaurant, right?
Yeah.
And they said they've only gotten together like twice in the last 10 years, and they don't even sing. They just come together and say, buy our records, eat our food. They don't perform. They don't do anything.
Yeah.
And it just looked like four middle-aged people. You would never, if you were walking down the street, you would never know that they were ABBA.
Yeah.
None of them. None of them look like superstars or anything. And because they're from Europe, they're not all riddled with plastic surgery. They look like normal middle-aged people.
Normal people.
Yeah, they really do. I mean, granted, they're not like overweight or anything, but they're just normal middle-agers.
Yeah.
Yeah, Mick Jagger. Yeah, he's
He
done.
looks bad.
Yeah. Well, I guess compared to other he's a great-grandfather now. So I guess compared to other great-grandfathers, he looks good. He just doesn't look good compared to like
he was
people.
He was married to a 26-year-old. I thought they said.
Yeah, but
she was pregnant.
Yeah.
Can you imagine how old is that dude?
I think he's in his 70s.
Oh my god.
You don't want to have.
If you got that much money, you just say if you get her pregnant, you just be like whatever. You just take care of that kid. Here's a whole bunch of money.
Let me ask you, because you're 37, right?
Yeah.
When you're 70. You don't want to have another kid?
No, I'll still be working to take care of the 3 that I have, that I'm going to have. I'll still be working, or I'll be dead.
That's right. It's only a month or two before you get to open the package before the twins come out.
For the 2 more.
Yeah.
Before then, I got to start working my life away to pay for everything, which is fine.
You'll have a good time working 3 jobs.
Yeah, I'll be good.
Maybe, well, since you're president of Beacon of Speech, you could probably sell us.
So you get a bigger pay?
You could sell us, and we'll take pay cuts, and you own the rights. And
you sell it off to like iHeartRadio or something?
Oh, I'll tell you what. Another depressing thing about our business model, because we don't get paid, right?
Yeah.
Basically, we're using the movie computer still, right? iHeartRadio says that if you pay them money, you could do your podcast, and then people will pay iHeartRadio to listen to your podcast. And I'm like...
So you pay them for people to pay them. So you pay them to put your show on, so people will pay them to listen to the show.
Right.
That's
and
awesome.
I'm like, wow, that's
What
quite a
good
business model. And I'm like, man, how does the guy who makes the content make money?
Yeah.
And I'm like, I don't think they do.
No, they pay it out of their own pocket. You got to work their actual job where they actually make money.
Yeah.
To pay. I wonder how much it is.
Oh, that I don't know. Oh, crap. Is that you or me ringing?
That's you.
Uh-oh. See, now we lost Ted. We're going to lose Fred. We got Joe. Oh, it's just my wife. I'm not going to take that call. I'm going to make Ted come and straighten that out, because she'll probably call again and say, why did you let there be a sleepover? Ted! Ted is here!
Is she going to be mad?
Oh, yeah, I'm sure she probably will be.
They have like 8 kids sleeping over tonight.
Yeah, they all can sleep over. Hey, Gary, how you doing?
I'm well, thank you.
Oh, so... Wow.
What's up, Ted?
How you doing, Joe?
Doing good.
So how does it feel? Are you done with your day?
Yeah, I'm done.
Okay, put on the headphones. Are you still Ted Coley?
As far as I know, nobody's told me any different.
So what do you think about Oh, he's looking at his headphones. Did Joe mess him up? Do you
No.
want me to yell at Joe and tell him he can't
Let him
touch
come
your
on.
headphones anymore? No, Joe had it was funny because during the day today, Joe was like, I have an itchy beard.
Mhm.
And I asked him, I said, do you have beard lice? As a joke, because I don't really think he does. But so when you came in and you were like, just wear
No,
my headphones.
I don't have beard lice.
No, I know you don't have beard lice, but it's funny because I never heard of beard lice before. So,
I heard a phone ringing.
yeah, that was my phone. Because we're in the middle of the webcast, I let it go. So if they call back, I'm gonna have to take it, and then you're gonna have to hold down the fort.
Uh-oh.
Because we were talking about how none of us get paid for this. So, but you can't have dead air either. Because last time I tried to edit, I literally just tried to edit and it like crashed everything.
Did you delete everything?
Yeah. Oh no, it didn't delete everything. It just crashed everything.
So we're still not getting paid for this?
No, you need to talk to President Joe.
It's not my job. You're the job of marketing, aren't you?
Yeah, I'm doing a horrible job. Funny because usually I bring in music or sports magazines, right, Ted? Look at the magazine I got this week for us to talk about. Entrepreneur Magazine.
Oh, wow.
How do you make money doing what you love? Think it, love it, do it, and make money doing what you love. Now, do you think that's ever going to happen for us?
That's all you have to do is those
That's
three
all you have
steps?
to. All you have to do is think it, love it, and then do it.
That's what I'm doing now.
And so these dorks who all they did was think it, love it, do it. That's Hanson right there. You know, Mbop.
Oh, man.
Yeah, don't they look old?
Yeah.
Yeah. Joe didn't know who Hanson was.
No.
I knew who they were, but I would have never known that was them.
Yes,
Been-
because they still tour. They still, I guess, not only do they tour, but they tour in conjunction with the beer that they make. There's like a Hanson beer. Oh, you can open it up. You can take a look at it. Because they're talking about the business model. Because they're like, oh, well, you have to diversify and you have to have a business plan that's not exclusive to music. I'm like, what the hell else are you going to do? You're Hanson. But yeah, so I got Entrepreneur Magazine. And so don't say out loud, but we're going to talk about you know how we always have a top 10s list?
No.
The back is the top 10 fastest growing franchises. We're going to see if Ted can guess.
Chipotle.
No, I said not to tell me.
Well,
You
I
can
don't know
guess
who it is.
Chipotle. Besides, I think that's going way down. They got to close. Was that next week they're closing Chipotle's?
Oh, they are?
For one day. For one day, and then they're going to relearn about food service. See, you're looking at Ground Round right now.
Yeah, I'm like,
And
wow.
I didn't even know there were Ground Rounds around anymore. But apparently they're making a comeback. What they did is they basically disappeared and then they re-emerged and they're trying to build back up from the ground up based on their name.
From the ground round up.
The ground round up.
See, that's what
Hey,
that's what we miss. We'd have no one-liners if you're not here.
There we go. Let's buy a franchise.
What franchise would you like to buy?
The ground round.
We're not buying the Ground Round. I haven't been to a Ground Round since I was 8
You
years old,
see
and
what
there were
opened back
peanuts
up?
on the ground.
You see what opened back up over there on Bagley?
Okay, no, what? Are they open back up on Bagley?
No, Damon's.
Joe's a speed reader.
Oh, hey, go back. This is what I'm talking about. So don't look at number 1, okay? Because that's what we're going to
I
talk
could
about.
look at it.
Here's number 1 through 10. So don't say it on the microphone, but past 10 you can look through. And if you're surprised, and then we'll come back to that after we're done.
Cool.
As a matter of fact, if you want to do it now, since you're on the magazine, do you want to do it?
No, do whatever you want.
Oh no, we're gonna skip right over it. Here, hand me that.
Here.
We're gonna test Ted since he's back. Yeah, I'm taking away your magazine. I'm
What did I miss?
We're talking about Kevin Kiley of 92.3. Did you hear about that?
No.
He got into trouble. He said that women shouldn't be coaches in the NFL. So, and then all of a sudden, all hell rained upon him. Okay, number 10, top 10 franchises.
Well,
Anytime-
now hold on a second.
Oh yeah.
Are there any women coaches in the NFL?
No,
Well,
no,
there
she's the
is.
first one.
Who is?
Some lady.
She's not even an actual coach.
No, she's like a quality coach.
I know. Don't they have a ref?
Oh yeah, they got a lady ref. They got lady umpires. I mean, all different. The problem is that NFL. A lot of people are Well, you got to make it inclusive to everybody, right?
Yeah.
Well, basically, like I was telling Joe, the NFL is all about punching people in the head. Well, why do you want to let everybody punch each other in the head? I don't want to be in that business model. Joe loves the NFL, so I'm sorry.
Oh, it's okay.
We should maybe we should start a real fight club, and we'll make sure we're all inclusive. No matter what race, religion, or creed you are, you can punch each other in our fight club, and we'll be pioneers. And that way, nobody will focus on the violence of all the people who die in our sport for pay-per-view ratings. Anyhow, so in Entrepreneur magazine, they got the top 10 growing franchises in America. Okay, now these are not who has the most franchises, which I basically know it's Subway. Right, Subway literally has like 5,000 franchises. Okay.
Yeah.
But this is the top 10 growing franchises, actually in the world, it says. I think, oh no, U.S. and Canada. I apologize. Number 10 is Anytime Fitness. Is that where you go?
No.
What's their scam? Because you go and work out all the time.
I don't know what their scam is. What do you mean?
Well, it says here that they're one of the top growing fitness centers in the world, one above Planet Fitness. Where do you
go there. I go to the Brook Park Rec Center.
Well, why do you go Brook Park Rec Center? Why don't you go to Planet Fitness or
Anytime
Anytime
in the world?
Fitness? We have an Anytime Fitness at the top of our street.
I go to
like
Planet. I gotta
$10 a
pass
month.
the Planet Fitness too.
Okay, but
Not
they're
Anytime Fitness. There's not one around me. I don't even know where one is at.
well. But the point is that
I went to one in Chicago. And
Okay.
That was shitty.
really.
Yeah. It was small. It was my opinion. It was small. It was crappy.
You should start a Brook Park Rec Center franchise.
Should I?
Yeah, just have
Oh,
a chain.
hey,
Just
you can
chain 'em up?
franchise Brook Park Rec Center. Where will Mayor Coin sell you the rights to it?
Maybe. I should bring up Mayor Coin.
But you know what? 10 years ago, I don't think a fitness center would have even been in the top 10. Would you?
No, not at all.
I mean, chains of
Gold's
fitness centers.
Gym?
That's fairly new.
Maybe Gold's Gym. That's about it.
Yeah, but I never got the impression Gold's Gym was a franchise.
Yeah.
Was it?
Yeah. It's been a franchise for a long time.
I thought it was like just famous people went to Gold's Gym.
No, it's a franchise.
As you can probably guess, most of them are restaurants at in the top 100. Number 9 is Carl's
guess.
Jr.
Carl.
I was gonna guess.
Oh, I'll make you guess the next
That's
one.
all right.
Carl's Jr. Do you guys like Carl's
What the hell's
Jr.?
there's a Carl's Jr. around?
Carl's Jr. is basically Hardee's.
Yeah,
What the hell's there's a Hardee's?
There's one in. I used to
I know
love
there's one in
Hardee's, but they
Menor.
closed them. Yeah, the one in Menor I like.
when I was in California, there was a Carl's Jr.
Well, basically, if you're out west, it's Carl's Jr. If you're in the east, it's Hardee's, right?
It was good too.
It's just like Rallies. And up north, it's Rallies. Down south, it's Checkers.
Yeah,
Isn't
exactly.
that weird? What's the difference? Why does it have the same name?
I think they're like sister companies or something.
This is stupid.
Okay, I'm gonna let you guess because you said you wanted to guess. Number 10 was Anytime Fitness. Number 9 was Carl Jr.'s top franchise growth in U.S. Canada.
For what?
Top growing franchises.
What number?
Any of them. Any in the top 10. What do you think?
Top 10. Probably Taco Bell.
Taco Bell is not in the top 10. They're
Wow,
number
really?
23.
Holy crap.
I'll go with the old tried and true McDonald's.
They're number 24
Oh,
because they
drop
both
it.
flatlined. Well, that's the whole thing. Right here, total franchises of McDonald's, number 24, right? 29,000 McDonald's, and they only grew by 100. Well, they have 29,000 stores. How much? Where's saturation at?
Yeah.
And same thing with Taco Bell. They got
Chick-fil-A.
5,000 Taco Bells.
Chick-fil-A.
Chick-fil-A, no, they're not. I don't even know if they're
list?
on the list.
Oh
I never.
my
When I
God.
glanced through
I'm
it, I
trying to
did not
think of
see Chick-fil-A.
Franchises.
Chick-fil-A.
Panera Bread?
I don't see either one of those. They might be down towards the bottom. Circle K, that's where I go every single day of my life.
They love you there. They know you by
Oh,
name.
they do know me by name. I got 2 girls who
They
know me
have
by
your-
name. They're like, "Hi, Fred."
They have your stuff waiting for you. Hey, come serve
Oh,
me
here's
this
where my
time.
kids love. Number 85 is Sky Zone,
I don't even know. Oh, the trampoline.
the
place.
trampoline park. Who would have thought of the
Oh,
trampoline park?
what about Sonic?
I don't see Sonic either. No. Jack in the Box is 88.
Was it mostly all restaurants?
Yeah, it's mostly restaurants, but it like here is like number 68 is Weed Man.
What the hell's that?
they come do your lawn. They spray your weeds. Ooh, Jets Pizza, they're awesome. Jets Pizza's $47. You know what? I wish Jets Pizza would sponsor us so we
What
can make
about
some
Planet
money.
Fitness?
Planet Fitness was $11. I don't think you were listening to me. I think you were totally ignoring me.
No, you said Anytime Fitness.
Yeah, they're right next to each other. Planet Fitness is 11. Number 10 is Anytime Fitness.
I don't know how they make money, Planet Fitness. They charge like $10 a month.
Yeah, well, it says they grew by almost 200 franchises last year.
Really?
Yeah.
Because it's so cheap. How do you
Now,
beat that? $10 a month to work out.
I don't know if this would qualify, but by any chance is like H&R Block on there?
They would qualify, but I don't see it. And
Yeah.
last time I checked, they said that H&R Block was shrinking. They
Yeah.
said because all these people are doing the TurboTax.
TurboTax.
And then Liberty Tax was growing.
Yeah, that's the other one I was thinking.
They were taking a chunk out of there.
What about Remax?
I don't think they have. Oh, holy cow! How'd you know that? Remax is number 17.
You see them popping up everywhere.
Is that
You see
true?
Remax is everywhere?
Yeah, it just says right here,
What
17
is that, real
Remax.
estate?
Yeah, or Allstate.
Nah, they don't have Allstate.
Oh my god, you see Allstate, new insurance company on like every
Well,
corner.
I'll tell you the top 8, and then you'll kick yourself for one of them. Number 8 is Jimmy John's.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I don't like
Jimmy
Jimmy
John's
John's.
sucks.
Yeah,
In my opinion, it sucks.
the only reason people like it is because they deliver it.
Better
It's-
not say bad about companies. What if we try? to
yeah,
get
what
advertised?
Jimmy John says is that we. No, I like. I
I'll
went
say
to Jimmy.
love Jimmy John's.
I would. Yeah, make sure you say who you suck and big couch it. Basically, I had Jimmy John's. I was at a customer, right, and I was starving, right,
Yeah.
and the customer said, "Would you like some Jimmy John's?" And I had it. And it was awesome. It was
Yeah.
really good. And I think when you're starving, it's awesome.
Everything's good.
But then when I went with my family to Jimmy John's, I was like, oh, well, this wasn't really that great.
Mhm.
It's basically Subway.
Yeah.
But when they come to your business, it's good. Or compared to nothing, it's good.
Yeah. When it's free, it's good.
Yeah,
I'm
that's
hungry.
what it is.
But
I went to Jimmy John's I stopped for lunch one day.
Mhm.
And I walked in there. I'd never been in Jimmy John's. I'm like, yeah, I was telling the guy was taking my order. I'm like, yeah, I was debating whether to go to DeBella Subs or here. And I chose here because I've never been in Jimmy John's. I went and tried it. He's like, you should have went to DeBella Subs. Why would you come here? He said, why would you come here? I'd go to DeBella Subs. I'm like, really? I'm like, that's great. I said, I should have just walked out the door then. Because after I ate the sandwich, I'm like,
yeah,
man.
that's not a good endorsement.
No.
Number 8 was Jimmy John's. Number 7 was Stratus Building Solutions. And that's basically commercial cleaning. It's basically Steve's competition. They come in, they clean your building at night, and, you don't have to worry about people stealing stuff.
No. Cool.
Number
Let's buy a
6.
franchise of that.
What was that?
Let's buy that franchise.
Oh, maybe we should. Number 6 is Cruise Planners. They're a travel agency. They're basically AAA.
Okay.
So they're growing. Number 5, Jazzercise, which I would have never guessed. It
That's
says
good.
here.
That's a good workout.
It says-
You ever do that?
No, I haven't.
I did it a couple times.
I think that you probably look in the window at Jazzercise. I don't think you're doing Jazzercise. But it says here there's 8,600 Jazzercise franchises. Do you know where there's a Jazzercise in Bedford?
No, I have no idea. I was gonna say like a place like Curves or something like that.
Well, you know what? That's another good guess because I would have guessed Curves. I didn't know that Jazzercise was more popular than Curves. But yeah, it says that grew by 315. They had 315 last year.
That's
Number
crazy.
4, we kind of already talked about, is Hardee's. Again, Carl's Jr. on the west, Hardee's on the east.
Yeah.
And they grew 325 stores. And again, burgers, chicken, biscuits, Hardee's is good. I mean, but if you ate Hardee's every day, you get so fat so fast. Same thing with Carl's Jr.
Yeah.
Number 3, Joe goes to almost every day, or would go to if you had more money.
What?
Dunkin' Donuts.
Oh my God! Yeah, I was there this morning.
They've built like how many in the last 5 years? How many Dunkin' Donuts have they built just in Northeast Ohio?
Oh God, a lot.
Like a dozen. It says they added 400 in the last year,
That's crazy.
up to 11,000 Dunkin'
That's
Donuts.
so expensive.
Well, and that's the
man.
whole thing. They're not saturated. When I come to work on Bagley, there's a Dunkin' Donuts on Bagley. I don't even like going that way because it's backed up onto the road for
Yeah.
a donut place.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like they could build another one down the street, and that one would have backed up towards down the
Yeah,
road.
because
in the
they
morning.
built one by Brookgate. down
They
the street
built one
from
by
me,
Brookgate.
And I'll drive past there on the week and in the morning, and the same thing. The lines out to the street. I'm
Yeah.
like, holy moly! It seems like every Dunkin' Donuts they build, they put it in the possible worst fucking parking lot in the world. The shittiest parking lot in the world. The hardest one to get in and get out.
Yeah,
of.
you can't get in, you can't get out, and usually most people would be like, "Oh, I'm not going there. We can't get in." And they're like, "Oh no, we're addicted to donuts. We have to have our Dunkin' Donuts."
People are jamming in there. I'm addicted to their coffee.
I know people were addicted to Krispy Kreme, but I did not see Krispy Kreme on the list.
Is Starbucks on there?
No, I did not see Starbucks either. But I think Starbucks is saturated because, how many
There's another one.
lattes can you drink for
Especially
$5 an hour?
Yeah,
Or not
$8.
$5 an hour, $5 a cup.
$8 a cup.
Hey, here's one for me. Number 74, Freddy's Frozen Custard. I think I tried that scam in college. I said, "Hey, ladies, would you like some frozen custard?"
They sprayed you with mace.
And then they sprayed me with mace. I'm skimming down here, and I don't see Starbucks. I think, like I said, I think they're shrinking. But
So
like I
it's
said,
not-
once you have 20,000 stores, you can't grow forever.
I went and buy a Dunkin' Donuts.
Number 2, I can't believe this. Number 2 is Subway. 43,000 Subways.
That's crazy.
And they added 400 more.
Because is it so cheap to buy, or
I think everybody wants to run one. They have to be making money. And the Subway at the end of at the end of our street, you go to Subway at dinner time. There's a line out the door, and it's
Really?
like, yeah,
there's one right across the street from me, like literally right behind Dairy Deli.
Uh-huh.
I've been there once in like 8 years. Once.
you know what? That's not a good place. So I know what you're talking about now.
Yeah.
That's off the street.
Yeah. And you can't see it because it's kind of back behind the building.
Well, you said that we're gonna delve into this, okay? But
What's number one?
well, we'll come back to that. I will tell you. But the Dairy Deli is. Are we allowed to say that's allegedly a drug front? They.
I don't know if I'd say that.
We're not. They're not selling drugs out the back door at the
I
Dairy
don't know
Deli.
what they're doing there.
Well, I don't know how they stay open.
Yeah,
Okay.
me either.
Allegedly.
Yeah.
Allegedly, there's something going on, right? Well, I think what's going on is that people who are related to me, who we can't say on the radio, they go to Dairy Deli, they get their drugs, and then they walk to Subway behind and get their munchies right behind. I think it's like a 2-for-1 deal.
So they get their stuff and then they go over and get their meal
just-
before they get the munchies.
I just figured out who you're talking about.
Yeah, I'm not allowed to say his name on the radio. I'll get in even more trouble.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, so Subway's number 2, and like I said, 43,000, and they're still building them hand over. If you think about it, they built 435 stores. That's basically one new Subway a day,
Well,
over a
just think how
Subway
many
a
they
day.
got around here. They have one at Walmart.
Yeah.
They have one down the street, down here by the stoplight.
Yeah.
Then they have one down by the next stoplight. They have like
They're
probably
everywhere.
5 of them in like.
Because by my
radius.
house, we got the one across the street where there's always a line, but then there's also the Subway at the Walmart, which is like 2 miles down the road.
Yeah.
And then this, I have never heard of this before. And
Is this number one?
Yeah, number 1 is Jan Pro Franchising International. They're a commercial cleaner.
You know, I wonder if that's like Janny King.
It's got to be Janie King, because I'm like, there's no way I've never heard of this where there's 8,000
Yeah,
franchises.
maybe
and
they changed
added,
their name. Or...
And they added 5 more, because I'm like, well, what's Mary Maids? You know what I
Yeah.
mean? That's what I was thinking, but I didn't see that on there.
I never heard of that.
You never heard of Mary Maids?
No, I heard of them. I never heard of that company.
I've heard of
Jan
Janie.
Pros?
You said Janie King, right?
Yeah.
I've seen that.
No, I never heard of them either.
It's called Jan Pro?
Yes. Well, but don't forget, just because it's the title, they might be known as something else.
Yeah.
So I'm sorry. I caught this quote from Anytime Fitness at number 10. It says 42% of our sales are attributed to existing franchisees, and another 40% are members of our gyms who decided to purchase a franchise. It may appear that we spend a considerable amount of resources to sell new franchises, but the fact is we focus on keeping members happy and franchisees happy. If we do that well, the growth will take care of itself. I mean, basically, you'll have Anytime Fitness. I mean, the growth model is exponential. If you sell it to basically anybody,
Yeah.
you know what, I want an Anytime Fitness at the corner of my street, and I got a barn, and I'll be like, okay, we're good to go. I mean, your growth model is exponential.
Yeah.
You know, literally, you can have an Anytime Fitness anywhere.
Yeah, as long as you get members in there.
Well, but I mean, you could have one guy, and he's like, "Oh, well, I'm selling it to all my friends." I mean, basically, that's what they're saying.
We should open one. I don't have a place to go anytime.
But
Anytime Fitness.
But the magazine was kind of interesting, you know, because I'm reading about it, you know, and like I said, you know, here's the titles of the stories, right? Have a good idea, call your lawyer. Yeah, that's step one. How to do it without going broke. Well, yeah, good luck. Nobody wants to work for the man. Everybody wants to work for themselves. Making money without feeling gross. Well, yeah, you can't, I mean, all the articles are vague. So everything you need to start a business that matters.
That's like what I just read today.
What's that?
That thing I showed you, that run, hide, or fight, in case there's an active shooter that comes on.
Oh, yeah. Tell Ted. I don't think he saw it.
There's a thing online for work. I seen it said run, fight, run, hide, or fight. And it's like run. It's like if there's an active shooter coming your way and you have a chance to run and escape and get out of the way of danger. I'm just reading. I'm like, well, no shit. I'm like, who do they put this out for? Like, people that don't know. I mean, what? You don't know that?
Do they tell you to run zigzaggy?
Yeah, they tell you to run a zigzag. So in case he's shooting at you, it's harder to shoot at.
If you run diagonal.
No, they do tell you to do
that. Isn't that if like a bear's chasing you too? They say do that. Then they're like, well, if you can't get out, find a place to hide and make sure you're quiet and turn your cell phone off or turn it on vibrate. Make sure you find a good hiding spot. No shit, really? No, I'm gonna stand out in the open and say,
I think you should make a call while you're being chased by the shooter and talk real loud.
I'm having a panic attack. What do I do again? Was it shoot, or was it hide, or was it fight, or which one was it?
Yeah, that was just funny when I was reading that. It's like giving you the obvious shit to do. It's like, no kidding, really?
Yeah. Well, you know what? They probably paid a consultant $150,000 to come in, and then they gave them the report, and they said, well, what you want to do is run. And then you want to hide.
Let nobody get in your way and try to take as many people with you. But if the people don't want to go and they want to fight, try to talk them people into leaving. But if they don't want to leave, just leave them and run. That's what it says. It says leave them and just run and get out of the way.
Well, let me run through a scenario right now. Okay?
Yeah.
Right now, one of our ex-employees comes in.
We'd be screwed right now. Where would we go?
Yeah, we would be totally screwed because we're in the rock and roll break room. But pretend like we're in the middle of the vault, right? Now, I hear pop, pop, pop. I see Justin's face, okay?
Oh, my God.
We'll use Justin. We won't use his last name. I like Justin, but if of all the people who ever worked here, he's probably in the top 2 of people who would come back and shoot the place up, right? So Justin comes in.
In his own foot.
That's true. I can see Justin swirling the gun. Is that mine or yours?
Oh, that's you. I turn mine on vibrate.
Oh, Ted. Okay, we're gonna break protocol because we're not getting paid. Tell Joe. Think of other people who would be active shooters. Let me take this call real quick.
Active shooters at our place of employment.
Oh, I missed it.
What do you think, Jim?
No, I don't think Jim wouldn't even care. Just one of them laid back people like, maybe Jim Baker.
Yeah.
He might.
Don't talk about Jim Baker without me, because then
other people, I don't know.
He would come in with a cigarette in his mouth.
Yeah, with his fucking, with his hair all orange with cigarette smoke. Somebody used to tell me, like, he'd get a haircut and be like,
it would be gray.
Yeah, he would go all yellow hair, then he would get a haircut and be like all like white, like a Q-tip.
Yeah.
And like that's how much he smokes. I'm like, that's crazy. How could you smoke that much? Especially if you're smoking outside, like during the day. He must smoke a lot in this house.
You know what's funny? Neil told me he saw him not that long ago, like on the freeway.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm surprised that guy's still alive.
Yeah, because how old was he when I worked here? He worked here, maybe 10 years ago?
Yeah, it's probably been at least 10 years since he left.
That's crazy.
Since he was
I don't know. He has to be up there.
yeah, I mean,
But yeah, other active shooters. I don't know. We really didn't have any of that crazy people here, besides Fred.
I'm not shooting anybody. I'm not a big gun guy. I know you guys don't believe me, but I'm just not.
But other than that, I don't know of anybody that would go off the deep end.
Oh, good. I'm trying to send a message, and
Not
I
James,
apologize.
Not Dog.
no.
Try anything else who worked here. But yeah, if the active shooter came in, I would be out. I'd be like, see you later. I'm out of here. I wouldn't stay behind.
Yeah, I'd be like George Costanza at that birthday party.
Running over the kids and
I'd be
grandmas.
running
Well, now that we
ladies and-
lost our flow, I apologize profusely. And like I said, if we were getting paid, I would not have taken that. Basically, so Justin comes walking in the door. He swings the gun around, right? If he doesn't accidentally shoot himself in the foot, he's shooting, okay? Like Ted said, it'd be like George Costanza. You'd be pushing people out the door. I'm not waiting for you. I'm not waiting for you. I'm out the door. And Ted, you'd probably push me over to get out the door. And who here... Would anybody even, like, give it a second thought? Like, well, we better check the sign-in sheet and see who's...
I don't know. We might probably have a couple of guys just, like, walking around in circles, not knowing what's going on. Oh, what's happening here?
I think a van might be backfiring in the garage.
Let me go see what that is.
Yeah, it's all very common
Or
knowledge.
somebody waiting to punch out.
Yeah. Just sitting there staring.
I gotta
Well,
wait
I
8
heard-
more minutes, or
I
was like,
heard something, but I just didn't want to move because I wanted to stay here so I could punch out in time.
No, well, I'm very sorry that I had to take that
That's
call.
so
I
unprofessional.
apologize. I know it is
How
unprofessional.
dare you?
So I apologize. I apologize profusely to the 2 listeners, and I apologize to you
Well,
guys.
did you actually answer that, or
No, I just sent a fast text that says I will eat at 6. So
You should have talked to her on the air.
yeah, I couldn't get the headphone to do it at the same time as I'm not coordinator. I couldn't get the
suck.
phone under there. I pretty much do suck, and then I'll get yelled at when we get home. So
All right, she's mad that you're having your kids having a sleepover.
yes, so she's probably calling to yell at me because I told my daughter she could have a sleepover. Okay, we skipped order. The next thing I want to talk about, and it's going to be super boring, so we're going to plow right through it. And Joe's rubbing his face. He doesn't want to talk about anything super boring. Do you know who Trent Lott is?
No,
He's an old Republican senator from Mississippi. Do you know who Tom Daschle is?
no.
He's an old Democrat. Ted knows who Tom
I know
Daschle
those
is.
guys.
He's an old Democrat senator from South Dakota. They got together, and yesterday on the radio I heard them promoting their book. They wrote a book called Crisis Point. And they're selling their book, and basically they said that politics needs to go to the good old days where everybody in Washington are all friends, the Republicans, the Democrats, and their kids play together, they go to the same private schools, things need to get done, because basically the Republican and Democratic parties are, 2 big machines, and they're there to get things done.
Yeah.
They're not there for people like Donald Trump or Ted Cruz to come in and gum things up. Well, I've been saying this forever. The whole time I've been an adult. I don't vote for Democrats or Republicans because they're both machines. They're both money machines. And all they did when they're promoting their book, saying crisis point, we're coming to a point where we're not able to work together. Well, flipping good. I'm glad you guys can't work together because you guys were the problem. The problem is you were 2 money machines. And you're like, well, this time it's my turn to be in charge. Next time it's your turn to be in charge.
Yeah.
I've been voting third party for like the last 4 elections. And it's like, well, no, we don't want third parties. We only want Democrats, Republicans. 9 out of 10 of our ideas are exactly the same. And then we'll fight about things that don't matter. Right? Or that affects almost nobody. And again, take homosexuality for all. And I'm not saying that it doesn't affect anybody, but I'm saying that homosexuality, between 2 and 4% of the population is gay, right? Well, is that affecting 98% of the population? So they take wedge issues like homosexuality, and they say, well, one side says yes, one side says it's one side says it's fine, one says abomination against God. You distract from the real issues of the day, which the Democrats and Republicans all rely on. They're like, oh, we think we should bail out the banks. Well, we do too. I think we should give them $1 billion. I think we should give them $2 billion. Well, they both agree on the general premise. It's the amount of money that they disagree on.
Yeah.
And the reason they wrote the book Crisis Point is they said America is getting to a point where people are not just happy with the Democrats and Republicans working together. And I'm like, are these guys just figuring this out now? And it bothers me because they're like, wow, people, they have different ideas than what we have in Washington, D.C.
All our ideas should be the same. What are you thinking outside the box for?
Yeah, it's like, let's see.
Who do you think you are coming in here and starting crap?
And when Trent Lott was talking, it was a very condescending attitude.
I didn't know that those guys work together.
They don't. But they said...
I know neither one of them is currently in, the system.
When I was listening to them promote...
But when they were, did they work together?
They worked together a little. But not all the time. They didn't see eye to eye. But they said at the end of the day, they understood that they had to do what was best for the union. Right? And sometimes they had to vote for things and hold their nose. And sometimes they had to do things that wasn't palatable. Right? It's like, yeah, but we didn't send you up there to make new friends and say, hey, my friend. They said once they got done, they realized, how we need to get along. We need to figure this out, and we need to get along. And now, Ted, if you were paying attention...
The good old boy system. I'll take care of you, you take care of me.
Because that's the whole thing. I read it at the beginning of the thing. We are all in this together in this country, okay? Mm-hmm. When Trent Lott was talking, when he says we're in this together, he means Democrats and Republicans and all the people who donate money to him. People in Texas he don't care about, people in Omaha, working class people, you, me, Joe, I guarantee you he doesn't care about us.
Mm-hmm.
When he says we need to work together, he means Democrats and Republicans.
And he doesn't want third party. Of course they don't like third party.
No, we hate
They don't want people stealing their jobs.
Yeah, we don't want third party people. We're not in this together.
Take my job.
Here's Trent Lott's thing. Trent Lott's idea of being in this together. Okay, well here's how we're in this together. I'm the head of the Republican Party, and you join the Republican Party, and then you give me money.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, It's like a giant pyramid scheme. And Tom Daschle was the same way. I'm the head of the Democrat, and I know they're not, but they're pretty high up in the parties.
Yeah.
You join our party, and we make money. It's just giant pyramid schemes.
Yeah.
So when I say we're all in this together, I mean everybody's in this together. Those guys are talking about we're in this together, Democrats, Republicans, but not really the people. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like us lawmakers,
Just those special people.
And when Trent Lott said him and Tom Daschle and these other people lived on the same street in Washington, D.C.,
yeah.
When their kids went to private school together, number one, his kids did not go to Washington, D.C. city school. He wasn't going, they were going to the high-end private schools.
Oh, yeah.
Their kids weren't going to the same schools that the other people in Washington, D.C. were going to, and they weren't going to the same, they weren't living on the same streets as the people in Washington, D.C. were living on.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So he's talking about all this, and he's very condescending, and it's, again, us 1% need to figure this out and then tell people what they need to do.
Now, did you see this on
No,
TV?
it was on the radio. He was promoting his book on the radio. And that's why,
And the book is by both of them?
Yes, they were able to cross the aisle and write this book together. And I'm like, wow, you guys are real geniuses.
That's
and
great.
again, go ahead.
So that's great. They got together and could work together.
Yeah.
It's like old times.
Yeah, we're all in this together. Now,
They're in it together.
Why don't we and Tom Daschle, I don't have as much of a problem with as Trent Lott. I was never a big Trent Lott fan, okay? But if Trent Lott came in here and we had a conversation, I do not get the impression that me and Trent Lott would be in this together, if you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
He'd be like, oh, that's a nice little computer. He's like, how does that work? I have my secretary, explain to me how sound files work.
I'll have my assistant set that up.
So, but we're gonna plow past that because I didn't mean to bore you. The KHL, Continental Hockey League, it ends next week. Our team.
I know Joe was waiting to hear this.
Oh, no.
couldn't wait.
Trust me, we're gonna turn this in a circle. Our team, Amur Kerborsk or whatever. I butcher it every week, and I know they don't like me talking about their team because I can't pronounce their team. They are not going to make the playoffs. There's 1 week to go, and they basically have to win like their last 8 games or whatever. I think they have to put extra games on the schedule to make the playoffs. Okay, so I was researching it. I was researching the Continental Hockey League, and again, this is Russia, right? They have 5 corporate sponsors. They said, "Oh, go to the site, watch the playoffs. The playoffs are coming. We love Russian hockey." Number 1 corporate partner is a company called Sogaz, Sogaz, right? You familiar with Sogaz?
Vodka.
That's what I was going to get.
I don't know who that is, but we're talking about companies. Second one is Rostocom. Have you ever heard of Rostocom?
No.
Okay. Third, Ariel, Eriell,
No.
corporate partner. Okay. Here's the 4th corporate partner. There's only 5. It is a Russian company called MasterCard. You ever hear of MasterCard?
Yeah, MasterCard.
Yeah. Why is MasterCard a sponsor of Russian hockey?
Why not? They're all
Apparently
over the
people
place.
everywhere in the world needs credit cards.
Yeah.
And I'm going to throw this at Ted. You can answer too, but I'm going to throw this at Ted. Number 1 corporate sponsor for the KHL. Any
McDonald's?
corporation. Who do you think?
McDonald's.
Joe guesses McDonald's, which is a really good guess.
For the Russian hockey
the
league?
Russian Hockey League.
No, number 1 corporate sponsor.
Yes.
Oh God.
Carl's Jr.
That would be funny if it was Carl Jr. McDonald's is actually a really good guess because McDonald's sponsors. They literally spend millions of dollars.
Yeah.
And give it to the Olympics. They're one of the number 1 sponsors for the Olympics. So they're like, oh, go ahead, Ted.
General Electric.
That's a great guess. Number 1 sponsor, Coca-Cola.
Oh.
You hear that famous Russian company, Coca-Cola?
Oh, yeah.
But that's the whole thing. McDonald's, they take all their money and make people fat. And again, you can argue, you don't eat McDonald's every day, you won't get fat, blah, 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 right?
Yeah.
But basically, they're buying off the Olympic Committee by saying, oh, no, we sponsor the Olympics. We sponsor healthy living. Coca-Cola can turn around. We don't make Russians fat. We sponsor the Russian Hockey League. That's how much we love physical fitness.
Yeah.
When I came across that, when I was looking up standings today, I'm like, MasterCard and Coca-Cola are 2 of the biggest sponsors in the Russian Hockey League?
That's pretty big, though. Why are you so surprised?
Well, what's the most famous vodka in Russia?
I have no idea. I don't live in Russia.
Well, say it's White Bear Russia. I don't know what it is. Okay, say it's White Bear Russia.
Putin vodka.
Wouldn't you Putin vodka? Wouldn't you be surprised if White Bear Vodka was one of the sponsors in the NHL? And I mean corporate sponsors. We should make fun. We talk about Russia every week almost, right, Ted?
Mm-hmm.
And
One way or another.
one way or
I think
another.
you
All-
love Russia.
All roads lead to Russia.
That's because they are our brothers. My wife is Ukrainian.
Is she?
Yeah.
I thought the
Russia
Ukrainians
is our
and
brother.
Russia didn't get along.
What was it?
Like Ukraine and Russia.
They
didn't
don't.
get along.
But they're like brothers who don't get along.
Yeah.
You know how some brothers will, fight cat and dog?
Yeah.
That's Russia and Ukraine. They are brothers, whether they like it or not.
No, I'm Ukrainian, not Russia.
Oh, there's a band I really like. They're called the Svetlanas. I'm gonna make you check them out because they got a hot lead singer.
Yeah.
It's this Russian girl, and she sings like she's part of a KGB. She's like, we're here to infiltrate America.
Yeah.
But she is this hot girl, and she just sings the angriest flipping lyrics ever.
Are they
Next
an
time
older
me and
band,
you
or
are,
are they new?
they're new.
Yeah.
They're not young. They're not like 18.
Yeah.
They all look like they're about 30.
Yeah.
But I mean, for a punk band, they're young. So, okay, blah 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 blah. Okay, what time we got? I gotta look at clocks. The last topic we got. Okay, who died this week? Last week we talked about David Bowie. Who died this week? Ted
Glenn
Foley.
Frey.
And you love the Eagles, correct?
Yes.
Do you love the Eagles?
They're okay.
I do not like the Eagles at all
No, why not?
because they suck.
Okay.
Basically, they had 20 hits. I like maybe 3. And one of the top reasons that punk exploded is because the Eagles existed.
Yeah.
And I've seen interviews with Jello Biafra where he's like, oh yeah, part of the reason that punk exists is because, we're in Colorado and all these garbage people, they're all listening to bands like the Eagles. And we're like, we don't listen to Eagles. And they're like, we listen to Ramones. And then he goes, I went out and started my own band in reaction to the music like the Eagles. And his whole thing was, punk was born because of them.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, punk, they hated almost everybody. Though.
Yeah.
Right.
Because they're a bunch of punks.
Yeah, that's right. They're a bunch of punks. But they specifically hated classic rock bands like Journey
Yeah,
and
it's
the
overproduced.
Eagles. Overproduced. Yeah.
Why are they so angry? Who cares?
Well,
They
because
should support their fellow artists.
but artists. But now I like Ted, and now we're gonna be like Trent. We're gonna be like Trent Lott and Tom Daschle. We're on different sides of the aisle, but we both love music. Correct? I love music. You love music. Joe, do you love music or do you hate music?
That's okay.
But the Eagles. But the Eagles, it was funny because last week everybody's like, David Bowie was an artist. He plowed new ground.
He died?
Yeah, David Bowie died last week.
Oh. That's interesting.
I forgot that you weren't in the webcast last week. Yes,
Yeah.
David Bowie died. Are you sad about David Bowie?
Yeah.
Who are you more upset about, David Bowie dying or the guy from...
Uh-oh, hurry up. Log back in.
Yeah, I know.
Which one was
Everything...
that?
all of a sudden, we're doing the webcast and everything starts...
Shutting down.
Starts
Just
shutting down
really-
and
You're
beeping.
just really effing up this podcast.
Yeah, I
today.
know. This is going to be our worst one. Yeah, oh, can you call me? Yes, I will in 2 minutes.
Call her now. Step out the room. Me and Ted will take over it.
Yeah, well, we're going to finish who's dead and who's not, and then
All right.
we'll finish. Oh, so I apologize for our worst webcast yet. They're supposed to be getting
I
better.
should have left today.
Yeah.
There's a reason why I wanted to leave early today.
Once you start webcast 1 and then you go to webcast 13, but it gets worse and worse. David Bowie died last week. Nobody said one bad thing about David Bowie. You remember us talking about that?
Yeah,
Just a few Christian groups said he was gay, but he wasn't really gay. He was androgynous or bi or whatever. But at the end of the day, it didn't matter. And I'm not a Christian website, so screw those websites. David Bowie is great, right? Now, Glenn Frey died. Everybody poured in. We love Glenn Frey. We love Glenn Frey, right?
Mm-hmm.
But the same people who loved the Dead Kennedys and the Ramones, they were starting to come out of the woodwork a day or two ago. And 2 days ago, right? New York Daily News. Frey's death is sad, but Eagles were a lousy band. 2 days after his death. That's something I would say.
Who said that?
The New York Daily News.
That's not nice of them.
Yeah. So a day later, the New York... I couldn't get on the website. I don't know if it was blocked because of our controls or if they pulled the website. The guy had to write a retraction the next day, and the guy said, "Thanks, America. All I did was receive death threats for 24 hours because everybody loves the Eagles."
Yeah.
Right?
Really? People left him death threats because
Yeah.
he said that?
Yeah.
People are screwed up, man.
Yeah. But, and here, again, we're Beacon of Speech. We're going to talk about... It's the old analogy we were talking about a few weeks ago. A person has an ugly child, right? Now, you know the kid is ugly, and the parent knows that the kid is ugly. Do you go up and say, "Hey, your kid is ugly," and where the kid can hear?
Mm-hmm.
You have the freedom to do that, but you have to use some discretion.
Yeah.
Don't tell that kid he's an ugly kid. What's the same thing with Glenn Frey? Don't come out and say, "You know what, Eagles might have been one of the 3 worst bands ever. They suck. Glenn Frey's dead. We can write that article in a year from now."
Yeah.
Right? But you shouldn't tell a guy that we're going to kill you because you said that I got to read the quote. Glenn Frey's death is sad, but Eagles a lousy band. Well, you shouldn't say somebody should die for that.
No, who cares that he says that?
Yeah. It's like, oh, bad timing, or you're a jerk or whatever. Not, I'm coming to New York and killing you.
No, I'm not saying nothing bad about the guy. Just saying I don't like them.
Yeah.
I don't like their music.
And like I said, Ted, we talk about music every single episode. There are bands that I like, and there's bands that I don't like, and you're the opposite. There's bands you like that vice versa.
Well, most of the bands that you talk about, I don't know anything about them.
Well, yeah, because they're all obscure as hell. Because a lot of
it's not even fair to say that I don't like them.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Yeah, you like some effed up bands.
Like the Svetlanas?
Yeah, like the Slepvanas.
I'm telling you, if I got you a picture of lead singer of Svetlanas, you would totally be in love with her.
Yeah.
Now, Joe, do you know who Alice Donut is?
Who?
Alice Donut.
Alice Donut.
Yeah.
You make the donuts? Talk to make the
No,
donuts.
I
think that's Fred's favorite
that
band.
is my favorite band is Alice Donut.
And you don't know who they are?
No.
And I told Ted earlier this week, if Alice Donut, their lead singer is Thomas Antonia, right?
Who?
Thomas Antonia. If
Thomas
he,
the Tank.
if for some
Frank
reason,
the Tank.
if for some reason I find out, I read that Thomas Antonia died,
Yeah.
you know what would happen?
I
I would take the next 2 days off, and I would be in mourning. I would be in my dark room listening to Alice Donut records
Really?
over and over. That's how sad I would be, because they were awesome.
Fred would be the employee coming back with the gun.
So I turn
This,
around,
this
and I
is
asked
for Thomas Antonio.
Antonia. Maybe
Antonio.
Antonio, yeah, whatever. But anyhow,
You would be like John Wilkes Booth after he shot Lincoln or whatever.
yeah. But so I asked Ted, I said, are you upset? And he's like, well, no, it's just Glenn Frey. I wish he was alive, but I said, well, are you going to take a day off? And he looked at me like I was from Mars.
I already had the day off, so
Oh, yeah, I meant
So
the
did you
Wednesday
sit home
after.
in your dark room and listen to Eagles
Yeah,
music?
did you
like
listen?
Yeah,
like Fred
Did you
would?
listen to
I had-
Taking It Easy?
I had the shades drawn. And,
Some candles lit.
Yeah.
Were you
Box of
lighting
Kleenex.
one up? Were you lighting one up for Glenn Frey up in heaven? And like I said, that's fine. That's you. Everybody's not the same. And again, we're all in this together. I don't hate you because you listen to the Eagles. I'm not Trent Lott. We'd be talking, and I'd be like, "Oh, holy cow, Ted, you listen to Eagles." Hold my hand up.
it was. I was shocked. I, had no idea that he was even sick.
Right.
So.
But you can't argue all the hits he had. You can't argue with all the success they had. They made millions of dollars. But like I told Ted right after he died, I don't like Glenn Frey because concerts used to be cheap. And then the Hell Freezes Over tour came.
Yeah.
And I remember reading an article, and the headline was, "Will America pay $100 a concert ticket?" And it was the first time the concert tickets went over $100.
Yeah.
And people snatched them up like it was magic pixie dust. Those Hell Freezes Over tour
Yeah.
tickets. And then it was funny. I'm talking all this smack about the Hell Freezes Over tour, and then Ted tells me, what does Ted tell me? Ted, did you go to Hell Freezes Over tour?
Yeah, I did.
Were you one of those people who snatched up all
Well,
those
it wasn't.
$100?
It was in '94. It was.
Right.
And it was at the old Cleveland Stadium, and I think the tickets that we got, I think they were 46.
Yeah.
But of course they were,
Did you work here? You worked here then, huh?
Yeah.
Was it a weekend?
It must have been like a Friday night, or
Yeah.
it was either Friday or Saturday night.
But no matter what, their tickets were exponentially more than any other ticket. Now, nowadays, it's not. I mean, that's almost
But
normal.
yeah, they did seem
Yeah.
to be the first ones to do that. I don't know if in reality they were, but it seems like they were
They're
the
like,
first
fuck
ones.
it, let's see what we can make.
Yeah, they just gouge people.
Yeah.
That's like what I was reading today before we started. Donny Osmond is coming to the Hard Rock.
Yeah.
And the tickets average from $49 to $79. I said, who's paying that to see
Yeah,
Donny
for Donny
Osmond?
Osborne. Or Donny Osmond. Yeah, Donny Osborne, I'm sorry.
Donny Osborne.
Yeah, and that's the whole thing. So if anybody was doing it before the Eagles, I don't recall, but I think the Eagles are the first one that got pub for gouging the hell out of it. So not only, number one, I don't like light rock, okay?
Mhm.
So I don't like the Eagles that way. Number two, I don't like that they're like, oh, well, we'll just charge people $100 a ticket. I didn't like their capitalist. Let's gouge our fans.
If you're a band and you can make that much money, why wouldn't you do it?
Because you really want me to answer this?
Yeah.
You should not take advantage of your fans. Okay, let's use this. Let's use this. Okay, we'll use this example.
They don't have to pay the ticket price.
Okay, well, I'm going to use this example. Let's say that we catch fire and everybody loves us. They love our give and take that we have.
Yeah.
Right, and they love that I forget half my stuff and that Joe shakes his head when he should say no. Right.
Yeah.
They eat that up. Right. Now, all of a sudden, we're going on tour and we're charging $20 a ticket, right?
Yeah.
We sell out.
Yeah.
And we're like, well, you know what? Instead of selling out the grog shop, which only seats 1,000, we're going to go to Coliseums, and instead of $20 a pop, we're going to charge $100 a pop.
That's a big jump right there.
All right. And people are eating it up.
Yeah.
And we're like, well, they ate that up. Why don't we charge $200? Because they ate up $100.
Yeah.
Well, what happened to just charging $20? We appreciate having fans.
Yeah, but if you could get $200 a person, why wouldn't you?
Okay, now
if they don't pay it, then be like, okay, well, they're not paying it, so we got.
So what you're saying is we should be true capitalists, and that's what the Eagles were. They're true capitalists, and they basically took what the market would bear. That's what you're saying.
Yeah.
Say they said we want to charge $500 a ticket, nobody would have bought it, and then their price would have come down.
Yeah.
So the Eagles basically were good capitalists, and they were able to dictate their prices based on demand, and which is what any capitalist does, whether you're selling tacos, storing tapes, or writing Taking It Easy.
Yeah.
Okay, I will listen to that argument. Now, argument two about the Eagles. Now, is Beacon of Speech successful because of you, or is it because of me, or is it because of Ted Coley?
I still don't know yet.
Good answer. Glenn Frey and Don Henley said the Eagles are successful because of us. The Eagles, their first incarnation, and Ted, you can correct me if I'm wrong, the five of them split the money, and that's part of the reason that they got into all the fights. Part of the reason, not the only reason, but Eagles Corp was the five of them, correct?
Yeah.
Well, when they first started...
up to 1980.
Well, when the band started,
right,
when they made their first album, it was Don Henley, Glenn Frey, Randy Meisner, and Bernie Ledden.
Okay.
And then, like 3 or 4 years later, Randy Meisner and Bernie Ledden, I don't know if it's Leeden or Ledden, they left the band.
Right.
So they had two different guys replace them, and
Glenn
Joe
Frey
Walsh,
was one of, or not Glenn Frey, Joe Walsh came in.
Joe Walsh was one of them.
Right.
And Timothy B. Schmidt replaced Randy Meisner.
Right.
And Don Felder kind of came in like the second or third album.
Okay.
So basically, at the end, it wasn't the same band that started.
Well, but
other than the only two that were there at the beginning were Don Henley and Glenn Frey.
But when they split apart, and again, I don't have the business model in front of me. When they split apart, they were basically splitting the money 5 ways.
Yeah, I guess. I mean,
that's now again. I'll interrupt. That's what I understood.
Okay.
When Hell Freezes Over came back, okay, Don Henley, and I watched the documentary, right? Don Henley and Glenn Frey said, "We are the Eagles.
Yeah. We
get the big share, and you three guys get the little share."
Yeah.
Right?
Okay. So you're saying when they broke up in 1980,
right?
At that point, even though those 3 other guys weren't there at the beginning, they were splitting the money 5 equal ways.
If it wasn't equal, it was close.
Okay.
When they came back,
maybe that's why they broke up.
Right. Well, Glenn Frey said that's why he wanted to make his own money, and that's why Don Henley wanted to make his own money, right? Because we carried the band.
Okay.
Okay. Now we're going to come back to the 3 of us. Now, they came back. Don Henley and Glenn Frey. They came back. They said we get the money. These 3 are hired guns, right?
Yeah.
And that, some people have better attitudes than others. And so, again, they did the corporate thing we are taking the money, and you three guys tag along. Well,
Yeah.
we'll use the analogy of Beacon of Speech. You know what? We're going to take a 1 month sabbatical from Beacon of Speech, and we signed a contract, or we're looking at a contract, but what we're going to do is I'm going to get the money, and then I will pay you guys $50 an episode to show up. I get the 50 grand, and then you guys will subcontract out of me, right? Now, even though it's less money, Joe Kaufman, he would come across the table and beat the shit out of me. Or
How do
crap.
you know?
I'm sorry. What?
How do you know?
I'm pretty sure that's what would happen. Oh, you wouldn't do that?
No, it's your show. You don't have bought yours. This is all your stuff. This is what you created.
So, and then Ted, I don't know. We might have to negotiate. Ted would probably pull a Justin, and he'd light my house on fire or something. But that's the point.
How much did you get though?
Say I got
That's
100. Say I got 100 grand. My contract's 100 grand, and
You're
I
only
turn
giving
around.
us 50.
What?
You're only giving us $50 a
Oh, not $50 total. Just $50 a week.
$50 an episode.
$50 an episode. Yeah.
and you got $100 grand.
Can you
Yeah.
believe that? We'd have to go kidnap them.
Well, that,
Maybe,
But-
I don't know. Maybe I will burn your house down.
but that's my whole point. That's basically what Glenn Frey and Don Henley did to the other guys. But we're not talking about $100,000. We're talking about Glenn Frey got $10 million, Don Henley got $10 million, and then Joe Walsh got $500,000. Well, Joe Walsh is like, hell, I'm happy to have $500,000.
Yeah.
He had the right attitude. You know what I'm saying? But if I get $100,000, you're getting $50,000 or $50 an episode. You'll be like, I will kill you, Fred, in your sleep. And so that's another reason I don't like the Eagles, and they admitted it. Now I don't know if it's 10 million versus 500,000, or one guy got 20 million and the other guys got 10. I don't know how they split it up, but they were very clear that the two guys got paid and the other three were the hired guns.
Yeah.
And that's another reason I don't like the Eagles. And it's not like I'm making stuff out of my butt. You can watch a documentary. The
Well,
Eagles,
they didn't have to play for the Eagles. They weren't the original members. They could have left and went to another band and made their own
and
money.
that's
That's like me. You would have got the money. I'd be like, well, screw you. I'm going to go start my own podcast. I'm going to go get my own deal, and I'm going to make more than you.
and that's what Glenn Frey, right? That's his name?
Yeah.
That's what Glenn Frey said. He goes, if you guys don't like it, you guys can go do your other
Yeah,
things.
there's the door.
Joe Walsh, you go back to the James gang.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's what they told him. And that's what he
But
said
Joe
in the
Walsh, he was a
documentary.
guitar player, right? He's
Joe,
pretty good
yeah.
damn guitar player. Why didn't he go off and do his own thing?
Well, he did. He's done like 10 solo albums.
Yeah.
But he uses the Eagles' money, I think, to help supplement his income
Yeah, I
for
wouldn't
his
complain.
solo act.
Somebody gave me $500,000.
Yeah, he really did. Joe Walsh, he was grateful.
Yeah.
Like, hey, I'll do.
Sure, sign me
And
up.
I think Timothy B. Schmidt, or D. Schmidt, or whatever,
Yeah,
I think he's grateful.
yeah.
Now,
Don Felder
Don
was another
Felder.
story.
Yes, because it was funny, because literally I'm prepping up my outline, and the article that came up when I was looking up Don Henley, right? It said 6 songs that destroyed the bands that made them famous, and one of the songs was it Randy Meisner?
Randy Meisner. Yeah.
Meisner? I wrote it wrong. Meisner? Okay. He wrote a song, and what song was it that he was singing lead on?
Take It to the Limit.
Take It to the Limit. Well, they wanted him to sing it every night.
Yeah.
And Randy Meisner said, I can't sing it every night. The range is too big. And Glenn Frey said, listen, this is a business. You're going to sing it every night. And they said that was one of the moments that blew the band apart, because Randy Meisner didn't want to sing Take It to the Limit every night. Is that correct?
Yeah, I've heard that. I've heard that.
And again,
Yeah.
now say we do a shtick where you have a catchphrase, okay? Like Joe Kaufman says, now that's funny, right? He spins around, and then after the webisode, I go up to Joe and I said, listen, dumbass, you're going to say, now that's funny, every webcast we do, or else you're out of Beacon of Speech. You know what would happen?
How much you paying me?
You would punch me in the face. You would be like, you don't tell me what to do.
Me?
Well, $50 an episode.
Oh yeah, I'd be like, F you. I ain't doing nothing.
You're gonna
I'm
say-
not doing nothing. You tell me.
You're going to say, now that's funny, every episode, whether you like it or not.
Well, that's funny.
That's going to be your
Yeah,
catchphrase.
I'd strangle you with that quarter right there.
on that point, that's why I don't like the Eagles.
Yeah, okay, I gotcha.
But
But I have heard that Randy Meisner story, like, from a bunch of different...
yeah, it wasn't... Yeah, it's
I mean, that's almost like common knowledge.
Yeah.
But, yeah, because I guess it was a hard song to sing.
Yeah, there's a lot of range, yeah.
And he basically didn't want to do it. And I think I remember reading that Don Henley said, they just want to hear the effing song.
Yeah.
In other words, even if you can't hit the notes, they don't care. They just want to hear it. They
Yeah,
wanna
just
hear
go
it.
close.
Yeah.
You should have just lip synced it,
Yeah.
right? Like everybody does now.
Milli Vanilli.
Yeah.
One or two quick things before we got to go.
And it's really ironic because, like I said, this was before Glenn Frey died.
Right.
It was a couple weeks before. I was over at my brother's, and we were watching a video, on YouTube of the Eagles doing "Take It to the Limit."
Yeah.
With Randy Meisner singing it. I mean, isn't it
Joe's
weird?
singing it to the side. Yeah, it is.
Then
Well, I
he
mean,
died.
Then he
everybody's
died. It's like,
the thing is,
Randy Meisner didn't die, but Glenn Frey did.
lots of people still love the Eagles because it's very easy going, smooth. I mean,
See, and the thing is, I think that's one of the reasons why Randy Meisner left. Was
that's what
because-
the article said.
yeah.
So,
Because you couldn't take it anymore.
Yeah.
but basically, all the country acts today, all new country comes from the Eagles. It doesn't come from Johnny
He
Cash.
must have had a lot of money just to walk away from that, though.
I don't
Say,
know.
hey, I don't want to do it anymore. I'm leaving.
Did he have a lot of money?
I don't know.
Well, the thing is, I don't have it in front of me, so I could be wrong. But if he's got song
Credits.
song credits for like Hotel California,
Yeah.
that guy
royalty,
could
yeah.
afford to leave.
leave.
But maybe he doesn't, because I don't know who like Lennon McCarthy. You don't know. Almost all the Beatles songs are Beatles, Lennon McCarthy.
Yeah.
And that's where you make your money, is on the songwriting credit.
Yeah.
So I don't know if the original ones were Henley Frey or if it was Henley Frey, Meisner,
I assume
whatever.
most of them were Don Henley and Glenn Frey.
But we'd have to look that up.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, so let me go back to one thing, though. So if you could charge $200 and people would pay, you wouldn't do it?
I wouldn't do it. Not if I literally had people in every city who would pay. I would not charge $200.
Really?
Yeah.
I mean, we're two different people.
Charge
it up.
See,
No.
there's already conflict in our.
We're already
No, I
having
don't know
conflict.
if
We're
you
only
do,
up to
'cause
the
you know-
13th.
I don't know if you could do it because I don't think I would do it because I don't think no one would pay it. It was a ridiculous amount of money, but
Well, that's the whole thing. Don't forget that the
people
Eagles.
get greedy.
The Eagles did not start out in a garage. They were Linda Ronstadt's backup band.
Yeah.
So they were grateful when they went out to the Eagles. They were grateful for what they first had.
Yeah.
Right? They
Yeah.
were not the greedy capitalists that they turned into.
I'm like Mr. Krabs and SpongeBob.
You'll be squeezing the corner. I'm gonna remember that.
Well, sometimes you don't think you would do something and you end up doing it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You
Well,
know?
that's true. Maybe I'll be like, listen.
Maybe you guys would actually reverse once it happened. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
Yeah, maybe once we're popular, if that ever happens, I'll be like Mr. Krabs. I'll say Joe's catchphrase if you give me a $500 bill. Now that's funny. One last thing I want to get to, because if I don't call my wife, I'm going to be in so much trouble. Dave Green. We were walking into the webcast, and he said they fired coach of the Cavs today.
Yeah. Steve.
And that is literally breaking news.
Yeah, Steve came out and said that.
Yeah, I was stunned. We're gonna make a quick prediction. Why prediction was made? Teams don't win championships when they fire their coach. When's the last time a team fired a coach and then they won the NBA championship?
Never.
As far as I know, I don't think it's been, but maybe I don't think it's been 20, 30 years. It hasn't happened recently. I have to look that up. But again,
They're not gonna go anywhere.
well, that's what I'm going to ask for predictions. I say that the Cavs are going to lose 4-1. Whoever they play in the finals.
They're gonna play. Tell you who they're gonna play. They're gonna play Golden State.
You
again.
think they're going to play Golden
Oh,
State?
yeah.
Well,
If
they're
Golden
going to
State's
lose 4 games to 1.
If they're completely healthy, yeah, I'd look if Cavs win one game.
They're not winning. They're not winning the championship if they fire Blatt.
Who did else they just got beat by? San Antonio.
Yeah, San Antonio. Yeah,
San
they beat them.
Antonio.
Yeah.
Basically,
They
the
didn't
only
blow
team they
them
beat
out,
was
like-
the Clippers.
Yeah, look the Clippers.
Okay, Ted, they fired Coach Blatt. Do you think the Cavs are going to win the NBA championship?
I'll say yeah.
You still say win championship, and you say what do you think the Cavs are going to do?
As far as
no, Joe.
No, I don't know. I want to say they're not going to win, but I don't want to jinx it.
Well,
Does it really matter?
well, what do you?
No, I don't think they're going to win the championship.
Do you think they're going to? Okay, do you think they're going to make the playoffs?
I don't
They're
think
number
they're going to
one
make it to
right
the
now.
finals. They'll make the playoffs.
They'll make the playoffs.
They ain't going to make it to the championship.
So
I don't
you think they're going to lose
The way
in
they're
the
playing
Eastern
now?
Conference Finals?
Yeah.
Okay. Lose in Eastern Conference Finals.
Which I'd hate to say. I hope they win the whole entire thing.
Oh, I
That'd be
hope they
awesome.
win too, but you can't fire your coach mid-season.
Oh, no. I mean, what team does that?
And granted, if you let's just say you fire
Because he's
him.
not getting what? LeBron James don't like him or something? That's
Well,
probably it, you know?
I don't know.
I don't know either. I'm just saying.
I heard
But
somebody else here say that too.
If you fire him, there's only 2 people you can hire and still win the
they
championship.
might as well not. You know who runs that team?
LeBron.
We all know who runs that team, who coaches that team.
Unless you're stealing Popovich from San Antonio or you're pulling Phil Jackson out of retirement,
Yeah.
whoever they bring in, supposedly it's the assistant Tyronn Lue. Tyronn Lue's he's not a coach.
Yeah.
I mean, he's an assistant coach. That's what he is. You don't learn on your championship run.
Yeah.
Why would you fire anybody during the middle of the season when you have a winning record?
The only thing I could think of, and again, this is me spitballing, is they're like, well, Steve Kerr. You know, Steve Kerr took Golden State to a championship in his first year.
Yeah.
Maybe you're like, well, Tyronn Lue can do that.
Yeah. That's crazy.
All right. Well, we're out of time, or else like I said, I'm sorry to cut it short. Blah 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 blah. Song of the day. I don't like the Eagles. I'm sorry, Ted. I apologize.
Is it from your favorite band, Amy Joy Donuts?
No, not from Amy Joy Donuts. I saw Spoken Word by Jello Biafra, and he told me how much the Eagles sucked. I actually saw Jello Biafra live. I paid money to see him speak. It was like $12.
Who's that?
Lead singer of Dead Kennedys.
Oh, okay.
He just did a spoken word tour. He did not charge me $200.
Oh, he
I'm
didn't?
going to dedicate Holiday in Cambodia is our song of the day.
Who's that by?
Dead Kennedys.
Oh, I know
Lead
the
singer
name.
Jello
I don't think I
Biafra.
ever listened to them.
Holiday
I
in
know the name.
Cambodia is awesome. Listen to Holiday in Cambodia. Ted, we may touch on Glenn Frey again next week when we got more time.
I hope so.
Okay, let's stop this.
Bye.